Good morning, good afternoon to everyone who has joined. Thanks for joining our webinar on Decoding Digital HXM with SAP, hosted by Kaar. Today we have Ian, Prem and Sumanan, who are the leading experts in human experience transformation to deliver today's webinar on Decoding Digital HXM. Ian is the Vice President of SAP SuccessFactors, focusing EMEA South. He is an ambitious leader who supports HR departments of leading enterprises on delivering business value by improved insight and easy-to-use HR technology, with his 12 plus years of SAP expertise in Europe and Middle East. And then we have Prem, who is an HXM expert from Kaar. He is a seasoned professional leading global HR transformation and delivery with diversified experience in SAP HXM gained through 25 plus projects. And our third speaker would be Sumanan, who is a digital HXM process design and delivery expert who has completed 15 plus projects leveraging SAP SuccessFactors across the globe. Together, our speakers would be covering the following topics. Ian would share insights on key HR trends accelerated by the pandemic. Prem would cover about the roadmap to digital HXM. Sumanan would explain how HR and enterprise processes are combined in a single platform and also 13 major reasons for enterprises to adopt SAP SuccessFactors. Finally, we will have Prem share 4 strategic use cases where Kaar has implemented SuccessFactors in the previous years. With that note, I will hand over the session to the speakers for today. Hello, Ian, over to you.
Thank you, and good morning, everybody. And thanks, Kaar Technologies, for inviting me to this seminar. I hope you are all good and safe wherever you are around the globe. In the past 2 years, a lot of things have changed, of course, in our daily life, but also in our professional life. And we have seen quite a number of impact on as well the HR function as what happens on our employees in the different companies. One of the probably most remarkable thing that we have seen is that the CHRO has gained a lot of more importance inside companies, where in 2008, when we had another shockwave and another crisis, it was the CFO who was looked at to save companies from getting into financial problems. But in 2020, when the world came to a lockdown, the CHRO was looked at to make sure that, first of all, employees were safe. Second, that companies could continue to work in some kind of manner, and to set down guidelines on how to continue post-pandemic. Now, that has raised a lot of responsibilities for the CHRO, but also a lot of possibilities for the CHROs of companies. Because it gives him the possibility to discuss with the business leaders on how can we make sure that our employees are safe and at the same time productive. And productive means like, how can we make sure that this hybrid workplace works for everybody? For blue collars, that will be a little bit more difficult because, of course, they need to be either in restaurants or workplaces or factories. But for white collars, there is definitely this question mark and this request from employees to work in a hybrid workplace and, if possible, to work from home wherever possible. Because employees are looking for a better balance between work and private life. And if companies do not offer the right balance, then they have seen quite a large number of employees quitting the organizations and moving to other companies where this possibility is offered. It also means that that learning became a very important element moving forward. And that's because of twofold. One, employees started to realize that their job might change overnight because of something that happens somewhere in the world. Employees want to make sure that they keep their knowledge up to date, that they learn new skills every day, and they seek for companies that give them that opportunity. That's one side of the coin. The other side of the coin is that companies also realized that things that were done yesterday in a certain way can no longer be done in the same way tomorrow. That certain functions that were necessary yesterday are no longer necessary tomorrow. So they need to find a way to make sure that, one, they keep people on board, and second, that they make sure that employees can move forward, learn new capabilities and skills, and help the company move forward. So that's why employees and HR organizations or learning departments within HR organizations will have to put a lot more focus on learning and education. Of course, being more or having more people work from home, it also meant that people had to look for, or organizations had to look for, how can we make sure that all of the data is available to our employees, that they can do everything from home. So giving people and employees a mobile interface, a solution that they can use from wherever they are, while keeping their data privacy sacred at all times, is also one of the main pillars that employees and companies are looking for. And then last but not least, we need to make sure that our managers are becoming more compassionate managers. That means that they know how to remove complexity for their employees, that they listen better, that they make sure that the purpose that the organization is leading is also known and embraced by their individual contributors, and that they make sure that everybody feels well and have a certain goodwill to move forward. That means that we will have to train our managers to lead more in this way, because like I said in the beginning, employees are looking for companies that give them possibilities to learn new skills, that gives them the possibility to work from wherever they are, but they definitely will look for managers they report into that understand that there is more than work, that work and private life these days is very much intertwined, and that they find the right balance between making sure that people move fast forward while giving them enough time to be a human being. Now, all of these came together quite dramatically fast in 2022. We saw this as trends being raised last year and the year before in Europe, Africa, and the Middle East. It has been trends we've seen everywhere. So this is not exclusively aimed at a certain region, but we've seen it popping up everywhere. So with those key trends in mind, I would like to hand over the words to Prem to explain us on a possible roadmap to achieve these HR trends. Thank you very much. Over to you, Prem.
Thank you, Jan. Let us start with seeing how the technology has evolved over the years and how the digital era has transformed into intelligence era. And as you all know, technology evolution has started with mainframes in 1960s. During this period, large-scale mainframe adoption and emergence of PCs led to industrial automation. Then, during 90s, widespread PC adoption and internet applications and ERP technologies played major role in bringing the business process automation. And then during 2000 till 2010, digital transformation took place with mobile phones, mobile applications, cloud computing, big data, and social networks. So from 2010, we see the emergence of new technologies such as Internet of Things, artificial intelligence, blockchain, and we see the organizations are moving forward towards becoming intelligent enterprises by streamlining their processes using these technologies. These intelligent enterprises enable their employees to focus on higher value tasks rather than the repetitive tasks. As you can see, from periods starting from industrial automation till the intelligent enterprises, there is a steep increase in productivity. Especially during the period of intelligent enterprises, the need for focusing on repetitive tasks are nil or negligible, right? While we all know employees are critical to any successful business transformations, let us see some of the statistics collected by SAP. Only 17% of the executives say their employees are ready to adapt new changes and ready for reskilling and taking new roles. At the same time, over 77% of executives say they see increased revenue by various employee experience initiatives. Interestingly, 70% of employees say they are more likely to stay with their company if they get good employee experience. These statistics show good employee experience is the key for any successful organizations. As the organizations look for best technologies to adapt, let us see some of the common challenges faced by them while choosing the right human experience management solutions. The HR department is not sure whether their unique processes specific to their organizations can be adapted in the new solutions. Right? They are skeptical whether the new technology be compliant with their local rules and regulations. And whereas IT is not sure of where to start the technology adoption. They are concerned how their existing systems be integrated with the new technology. And then they are concerned also will their data be secured as well. At the same time, executive management's concern is, will the investment yield good business results? How do they get good return on investment quickly? To overcome these challenges and to get good enhanced employee experience, SAP provides SuccessFactors solutions. SuccessFactors is a group of end-to-end human experience management solutions fully hosted in public cloud. It caters the solutions for managing complete life cycle of employees in any organizations. To handle recruitment process, there is a SuccessFactor recruiting, and to manage onboarding experience of employees, there is a SuccessFactor onboarding. There is a SuccessFactor learning management to manage learning and developmental needs. And to cater goal setting and employee performance review processes, there is a SuccessFactor performance and goals management. For managing compensation planning and rewards, there is a SuccessFactor compensation management as well. Also, employees' career progression and succession planning process can be better managed with career development and succession management. Along with these core HR operations, such as the day-to-day operations, such as hire, transfers, promotions, demotions, and the leave requests, time of requests can be managed by SuccessFactor Employee Central. Also, the country-specific localized payroll processing can be well managed by the SuccessFactor Employee Central Payroll. All these solutions are seamlessly integrated and fully supported with reporting capabilities. Now let me invite Sumanan to take the session further.
Thank you, Prem. Good morning, everyone. Hope you are having a great day. And so let's get started into SuccessFactor solutions. We will be starting with the recruiting, and we will be going till the termination of an employee. So we have end-to-end solution in SuccessFactors, so which starts from recruiting till the end of service of the employee. So when we have the recruiting module in place, so everything starts with job requisition. So SuccessFactors Suite provides a seamless integration with the position management, your budgeted, your unbudgeted positions, and integrating that with the job requisition. So if a line manager or the hiring manager is having a requirement where a candidate should be hired for a particular job requirement, then we can start with job requisition, which is an online form where you can create your requirements and you can post your requirements to the recruiting team. So once the recruiting team get notified about the job requisition from the managers, then we will be starting with the recruiting posting process. So before going into the recruiting posting, when it comes to a job requisition, we can have multiple levels of approvals within the system, which we can have a digital approvals. So for example, if a line manager requesting for a job requisition, then we will be having the different levels of approval within the company. Once the approval is completed, then we can move to the recruiting posting. So when it comes to recruiting posting, so we have different kinds of options within SuccessFactors. We can do an internal posting where an internal candidate within the organization or the internal employee within the organization can go and apply for this particular job. So we have external posting also, where we will be having a career site, which is provided out of the box from SAP, where candidates can create their own login, can update their CVs or resumes, and they can fill their personal details, and they can go and apply for the job. So in this manner, so we have the recruiting posting, internal and external. And along with this internal and external recruiting posting, we also have agency posting. So many companies, you'll be following, you'll be having a link with your agencies where you want to hire mass candidates into the organization. So in that manner, so you can use recruiting agency posting, where you can link the agencies username, user IDs, and all those agency details can be linked with the SuccessFactor module for the recruiting posting process and hiring the candidates within the organization. So once candidate has applied for the job, or he has been pulled into the recruiting module, then recruiters will have their own experience, which is called talent pipeline, where once the application is received for the recruiting team or the recruitment managers, they can go and filter the candidates based on different criteria. They can have a phone screening, they can have a in-bill screening, they can review the resume online. So they will be having a lot of process of screening. So all these screening process are configurable within the system. And once the screening is done, the recruiters can have internally, the recruiters can have an approval for the screening of candidate with their managers or the recruiting managers. And once the managers has approved, then we can have automated interview scheduling. By default, SuccessFactors supports integration with your Microsoft Outlook. So by default, you can block the calendar for the interviews for both the candidate and for the managers. So you can see the availability of the managers, and based on the availability of candidate and managers, you can schedule the interview within the system. So along with that, SuccessFactors also provide job specific competencies, where you can collect all your job specific competencies. For example, HR officer will be having his own set of job specific competencies, and the procurement manager will be having its own job specific competencies. So these job specific competencies can be linked with the job classification or job designations. So once we initiate the interview, once the recruiter initiate the interview, then we will be having the job specific competencies which will be populating for the interviewer. So we can conduct an online interview within the SuccessFactors system, and you can rate the candidates based on the performance, what they are doing on the interview. So this can be an online form. You can also do this in mobile also. So where you can fill all the competencies, comments, and their behavior, all those areas can be tracked for the candidate. So once the candidate is accepting the interview, or once the candidate has been accepted, or once the candidate has been selected, then we can move the candidate. The system will automate, and we can move the candidate to the next level of shortlisting process. So once we can have multiple levels of shortlisting process, which is also configurable within the SuccessFactor practice. If you want to have a medical check, you can have a medical check. So the whatever so shortlist process you have, you can inbuild those customer specific process within our SuccessFactor system, and then we can schedule offer approval within the organization, and we can get multiple levels of approval. So offer approval is also an online form, where you can provide the compensation data for the candidate, and then you can give it for the approval. There is no restriction to the approval here in SuccessFactor system. You can have n number of approvals within the SuccessFactor system. So once the candidate has accepted the offer, then we can release the offer letter within the system. And also we can also use digital signatures for enabling the candidate to sign the documents digitally. So these are the process which we can cover in the recruiting management, which will be having the end-to-end process from starting from job requisition till the end of the cycle of the candidate once the candidate has been moved to the ready to hire. So once the candidate is now in the status of ready to hire, SuccessFactors solution also have an onboarding solution where you can onboard the employees. So you can go to the next slide. So when it comes to onboarding, so the onboarding process is basically all the paperworks, all the personal paperworks, what you provide to the employee and get a signature can be digitally enabled as part of form and as a part of process. So all the personal paperwork can be done. Any additional onboarding papers can be done within the system, and you can generate documents and signature within the system. And then you can have a interactive conversation. So it's not like once the candidate has been ready, is in the status of ready to hire. Okay, it's not in the case that the candidate has to come to the office premise in the current situation. The candidate is not required to come to the office and to sign the paperwork. So the system itself provides all the paperwork and send the details to the candidates, so candidate can review their documents and paperwork online within the system, and they can provide their comments and feedbacks. So onboarding system also provides you a functionality of linking the manager along with the employee. So you can assign the managers as a buddy to the employee or the candidate who is going to get hired. So before the candidate comes into the organization itself, so he or she will be having experience within the company. So all the process like the clearance and the process like assigning the assets can be handled within the onboarding module. So along with that, we have multiple functionalities like within the onboarding where the welcome message for the candidate will be sent for hiring within the organization, and you can also schedule the meetings with the candidate, with the managers, and prepare the candidate. So at the end of the day, the candidate has to be ready to work from day one. So that is what we need. So we have to prepare the candidate on the day one and assign the goals. So on day one, the candidate knows what work I have to do, or the employee knows what work I have to do from the day one. And also, candidate will have a high-level overview about the organization. So if he needs any equipment to be requested, like laptops or phones or anything, you can have a functionality called request equipment, and you can give some instruction to the candidate where the candidate can do their self-service activities. And for the manager perspective, so the candidate or the employee will be in the ready to hire. So the manager will also have a idea about the candidate, their personal details and their current assignments, and all these details will be handled within the onboarding module. And onboarding doesn't stop with the hiring process. Onboarding also have comprehensive programs, like we have onboarding, which is once the candidate gets converted as an employee, which is called onboarding, and crossboarding. For example, if a candidate wants to transfer, or the employee is getting transferred to a different department, so we can have a crossboarding where we can have a structure where you can assign the new roles and job and responsibilities for the employee when he is getting transferred. And also we have offboarding. Once the employee leaves or separated from the organization, then we will be having a functionality called offboarding, where you can track the assets, you can do all the paperwork of offboarding within the SuccessFactors solution. So we'll be going to the next slide. So next comes the core HR, which is what we call as employee central in SuccessFactors. Now the candidate has been converted as an employee and he's within the system. Now, what are the functionalities Employee Central provides for the employee, the managers, and the HR? So when it comes to Employee Central, we have organizational management. So all your business units, your legal entities, the divisions, departments, your sections, everything will be structured within our SuccessFactors system. And if you want to take any employee within any departments, you can have a holistic view in the organizational structure, where you can see how many employees has been assigned to particular departments, how many positions are vacant in particular department. As a manager, you can create any kind of job requisitions, or if you want to create any new positions under you. So as a manager and as per the HR perspective, we can have the organization management where all the organizational structures, like their pay structures, their pay components, their wage types, all those are maintained within our organizational management. Then comes people. So now we saw organization management in the management perspective or the HR perspective. Now when it comes to employees, the employees can have their holistic employee profile, where they can see their personal data, they can update their personal information. For example, the employee is now a single employee, now he's getting married, so he can change the status and he can update the documents, necessary documents, and it can have a multiple level of approvals. And once the managers or the HRs has been approved, then the data will be updated effective with an effective date. So all the data within our SuccessFactor system in Employee Central is effective data. So whatever data get created, when we have the end-to-end life cycle of the employee, right? So we start with hire, then we will be having a transfer for the employee with a effective date, then we'll be having a promotion, then we'll be having a demotion, then we'll be having a pay change for the employee, then there'll be some kind of data changes will be happening there for the employee, there'll be a change in work schedules. So all these changes are tracked as part of history for the employee in the what we call in SuccessFactors is people profile. And all the transaction from hiring to separation can be handled seamlessly online in our SuccessFactors Employee Central module. Then the important topic we have is the time management. So when it comes to time management, organization struggle to have a proper solution for their employees leave management and the timesheet management. So SuccessFactors provides you the leave management. First we will start with the time off, okay, what we call as leave management. And here we can able to configure different types of leaves within the system. So it can be your annual leave, your employee sick leave, it can be in Middle East we have Hajj leaves, we have pandemic leaves. So we can create any number of leaves within our SuccessFactors solution, and all the leaves has its own accrual mechanism. So when it comes for annual leave, you'll be providing 30 days for in a year. It can, in some companies you'll be giving 25 days as per labor law. So all those accruals, period and processing. So if you are transferring the balance of the employee from 1 year to the next year, so all these process can be automated within our SuccessFactor time of application. And also you will be having some validation rules and regulations. For example, the Hajj leaves can be applied only after 5 years of the company, so staying in the company. Then we can have these validation rules, what we call as take rules in Employee Central, can be enabled within the system. And also this can be integrated seamlessly with our Employee Central payroll solution. I'll be coming to the payroll solution in upcoming slide, but all these process, whatever the master data change, the pay change, the promotions, and the leaves and the timesheet, everything will be updated to our payroll system. Okay, so then next we have the timesheet application. So in SuccessFactors, we have self-service timesheets. So where the employees can apply for certain overtimes. Okay, based on that, it can go for approvals, and managers can approve their overtime request. And if there is a time loss, for that also we can have the approvals. And also we have in Employee Central, we have a module called time tracking, where you can enable the clock in, clock outs within our SuccessFactors system. And also we can also have the seamless integration and automated tracking of the employees' movements within the company. And then we have the global benefits management. So you'll be having your own company's pension scheme. You'll be having reimbursements with the employee want to claim any amount from the company, or employees having a claim within the company. So all these requests, if there is an advance, there is any kind of loans that you want to avail for the employee, and employee as a self-service, they can request for the loans and advances within the system. And every process has its own eligibility process. So you will be having a restrictions or the eligibility criteria for your loans and advances as a part of self-service, and you will have certain limits for a year. All those process of loan management, benefit management, and advance management can be catered within our Employee Central solutions with the workflow process. So next, we'll be going into the next slide. So we are going into the Employee Central Payroll. This is an integrated solution along with the Employee Central model, which I explained in the previous slide. So we have 47 countries localized in Employee Central Payroll, and most of the Middle East countries, including Oman, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, all these countries are localized. In the sense, what is meant by localization is basically all your policies, like your social insurance, your end of service benefits, your indemnity calculations, all these are as part of out of the box solutions. It's just configurable as per your business needs. It is available and it is integrated. So when it comes to payroll module, so we will be having an integration. For example, you apply for an annual leave from SuccessFactors, and all these leaves will be integrated with your payroll module, and you will be having your necessary payments. So for example, if you are having a loss of pay, or you have applied for an unpaid leave, so the unpaid leaves will be integrated to the SuccessFactor Employee Central Payroll solution. And once you run the payroll for the employee, then automatically the deductions will happen for the employees. So likewise, we have self-service payslip. So as a self-service, employees can download their payslip once the payroll has been completed. They can download both in as part of web browser. They can download it, or they can take it from the mobile application also. So all the pay statements are available in mobile also. So other than that, you will be also having some kind of off-cycle process. So you will be having a regular payroll, which will be running on the regular periods of the month. And sometimes the employee wants to request for a loan, or employee wants to have an advance. Then you need to go for off cycle, which is not in the regular period. It can be on 5th of the month, it can be 10th of the month, any dates. So you can provide the off cycle, you can provide the amount to the employee, and you can record that as part of off cycle process. And this particular processes of payroll are directly integrated. When it comes to SAP, we have SAP Finance, where it can be directly integrated to the finance systems. And even if it is any kind of other than SAP, what we call as third-party systems, then we can also do some kind of customization to update to the respective general ledgers. So along with this Employee Central Payroll process, we are having something known as Payroll Control Center. So Payroll Control Center has next, if you are existing ERP or SAP customer, you will be having a regular payroll process. But when it comes to Payroll Control Center, you will have one-click monitoring of payroll. And if you want to run a payroll, you can do a 3-click payroll run within as a part of self-service, and off-cycle and posting to finance has been seamlessly enabled in the payroll control center. Along with this payroll control center, we have payroll control center KPIs, where you can filter the number of employees. You can compare the difference of number of employees paid compared to the previous period. You can do a reconciliation online within the system, and you can compare the gross pay of the last periods. You can check if the finance periods are open, and if you want to do a GL account reconciliation of the net wage types, you can do that. And you can if there is any errors in the posting, so that also can be handled as part of self-service for the payroll managers and the payroll admins in the payroll control center. So we'll be going to the next process, which is, can you go to the next one, which is the performance and goals management. So when it comes to performance and goals, so we saw about recruiting the employee and providing the onboarding documents online within the system. Then we went into the employee self-services process and manager self-services process. Then we went into the payroll coding. So other than that, employees will have their own goals which should be assigned. Okay, so for that we have performance and goals management, where you can capture the employee goals. SuccessFactors by default provides around 2000 standard library goals, which will have different sectors. It can be for manufacturing, it can be for construction, it can be for HR, it can be for finance. So all industry specifics, we will be having different kind of goals, which is or the objectives for the employees has been provided by standard. And also if you want to have your own customer specific goals process, we can also have the goal library enabled accordingly. And this can be used anywhere, anytime. So you can create, as a manager, you can create a goal for the employee, and the employee can update their goals. And once that the employee has completed the goal, it will be updated to the manager, and even the managers can cascade their goals to their reportees. So along with that, we have something known as continuous performance management. So now you have assigned the goals to the employee as a form. Now how the managers or the HR has to track that goals within the organization. Then we have the continuous performance management, where we can schedule continuous improvement for the employee and on monthly basis or weekly basis, and you can track the goals has been achieved or not, or the goals has been reached to the current point, or it's a goal is pending, or goal is beyond the schedule. All those things can be tracked within the continuous performance management. So now you have assigned the goals, you are tracking the performance. Then what we have is the performance management, where you can at the year end, or if you want to have a quarterly, or if you want to have a half-yearly performance management, system can automatically schedule the forms to the managers and the employees, where the employees can self-rate their goals. And as I said earlier, we have something known as job profile builder, where we have job specific competencies. And for example, HR officer will be having its own job specific competencies. So these job specific competencies will be populating under the performance appraisal form, where the managers and employees can rate according. The employees can rate themselves, and once the manager rate, then it can go to the HR, and we can have many levels of approvals for the performance appraisal process. And at last, once the performance appraisal process is completed, then you, as a HR, you can also do the normalization process of calibration. So we have a functionality called bell curve, where you can have your metrics and you can have your own calculation in place, where you can have all the candidates or all the employees within the organization are performing to their maximum, and all the employees are compensated according to their performance. So as I talk about the compensation part, so next module we are going to cover is the compensation module. You can go to the next one. So here, when it comes to the compensation module, so whatever performance scores the employees get at the year end, so you have to do the planning, right? So you will be having your own merits and metrics, and you will be having your own budget for the department. All those processes can be inbuilt within one single solution, which is called compensation planning module, and where you can have a compensation worksheet, managers or the department heads, they can have a view about the employee salary and the metrics and the analytics and the overview and the budget and all those details they can see. If they are promoting a manager, if they are promoting managers, if they are promoting an employee to a certain limit, there will be some kind of for example, they are moving the employees, they are moving the employees data. For example, let's take the employees matrix is within a limit. Okay, if manager is trying to move beyond the metrics or beyond the supply code by the management, then the system can have validations and budget check can be done. If the managers are providing the compensation planning beyond the budgets, all those areas can be covered within the compensation planning module. And along with that, we have something known as rewards and recognition. So if you want to give a spot award for the company, or if you want to give a Ramzan bonus, so all these process of rewards and recognition can be handled within the compensation module, and the employee's performance will be recognized immediately by the organization, which will make the employee experience more wonderful within the organization with the use of compensation module. We'll go to the next module. So then now we are providing the compensation for the employee. Then we have another suite or another module within SuccessFactor or another business process within SuccessFactor, which is the succession planning and career development. So you can plan with these modules, you can plan your successors. You can identify critical roles where there are gap within. So if an employee is having a skill gap, so you can identify which employees are the potential managers in the future, and you can search for a successor. You can compare their skill sets. You can use the job profiles of the employees, and then once the succession planning is done, then you have to. So now the employees are having for example, the employees are having certain skill gaps. Then how to improve their skill gaps? Then for that we have career development planning. Okay, where we can have a path, and we can include this career path with the learning goals also, which I'm going to explain the next learning management solution. And also you can do a calibration. You can identify the future leaders and visually compare the employees to make objective assessment and succession decisions. So we'll go to the next slide. So handling learning within the organization or upskilling the employees is a critical process within the organization or any kind of organization. So when it comes to SuccessFactor learning, so we have an integrated solution along with the career development. So if there is any gap for the employee or any gap in the skills, that career goals or the career development goals can be linked with the learning plan. So based on that, once the employees or the managers have completed or assigned with the goals, with the learning goals, once they complete their learning skill set, then the goals can be updated, and that incorporate, and that will also reflect on their performance. So all these modules are interlinked with each other within one system. And you can also have different kind of learnings. For example, you can have instructor-led courses which can be provided. You can maintain the course and materials within the system. And also SuccessFactor learning solution provides content, so which basically you can upload certain training videos within the learning management system, and you can assign to the employees. And as an employee himself, if he want to nominate himself for a learning, then we can have approval process for that also, which you can go for the manager's approval, and then we can have a respective budget tracking, and all those process we can cover. So once the employee has been done with the learning process, then we can generate certificates within the system. And also you can create some quiz, you can create some examination within the learning management module, which are all configurable. And we can also do a skill gap analysis within the learning module. So the next module what we are going to cover, you can go to the next one. we are going to cover about the mobile application. So whatever I covered here, from recruiting, from the employee central, from the payroll, from the learning, all the modules are available in mobile also. So for example, quick approvals. So this mobile application will be very much useful for the managers. So for example, employees trying to apply for a leave, and managers need not to go to the system, connect to the VPN, and go to the particular page and approve. They can get push notification within their mobile. The SuccessFactors application is available both in Android and also in iOS operating systems. So when there is any kind of leave request which is applied by the employee, the instance approval can be done within the mobile also. So manager, you don't need to wait for the managers to come to the organization. You can do a follow-up, you can provide their comments within the mobile, and any kind of approval for the spot bonus, or we saw about the job requisition approvals, and performance appraisal approvals, or interview feedback approvals, or any kind of interview feedback. If you want to rate a candidate, if you are going for a interview as a manager, if you want to rate the candidate online within the mobile, you can do it in our SuccessFactor mobile application. So also you can plan your goals on the go. So you can plan your goals for yourself, you can plan your goals for your reportees, and you can cascade the goals. All the process what we covered in the performance and goals management can be done within the mobile application also. So as I said, we can also have the payslips. So payslips can also, once the payroll has been run, once the off cycle has been run, you can the employees can see or view their payslip within the mobile application, SuccessFactor mobile application. So currently SuccessFactors and SuccessFactor mobile application support 43 languages, including Arabic language is also supported within the SuccessFactors as part of standard out of the box solution. So we'll be going to the next slide. So now you have seen about the different modules within our SuccessFactor solution. So what are the deployment models? So if you are non-SAP customer, or you're not using SAP currently, or you're using manual works, or you're using any other softwares other than SAP, then you can go with full cloud solution. Okay, which is the first option we have. For non-SAP customer, we can have employee central payroll, along with the talent modules, which the recruiting, performance, learning management. You can go with the full suite, and you can also have a integration. If you're having SAP, you can integrate with SAP, or if you are having if you want to have an integration with any other third party other than SAP, then we can also have a customized integration which can be enabled. And if you are existing SAP payroll customer or SAP HCM customer, then this is the right time to move to SuccessFactors. So you can use all your self-service, all the self-service process can be moved to the SuccessFactors module. And also you don't need to disturb your existing payroll process. So we can have a seamless integration between your SuccessFactor modules along with your existing SAP payroll modules. So if you're now want to go along, if you are having a third option, if you want to explore the talent modules of SuccessFactors, then you also have another solution where you can use your existing SAP HCM, your employee self-service, manager service process, along with the integration with the talent modules. All these integrations, what I'm saying is the out-of-the-box integration which is provided by SAP, unless that is a third-party solution, third-party interface. So for integration, we have a pre-delivered integration platform which is called SAP Cloud Platform Integration, where the SuccessFactor Cloud solution can be integrated with any solutions, any HR solution across the globe. So we'll go to the next slide. So now you understood about what are the deployment options. So what if you want to go into SuccessFactors? So what methodology will be following for implementing a project? Okay, so we are going to follow the SAP best practice of SAP Activate methodology, where it starts with prepare, explore, realize, and deploy and run. So this is the process we have. So we prepare, we will be preparing the project plan, we will be enabling the system, we will be accessing the provisions of the system. Okay, then we will be having the explore phase, where we will be having a direct interaction with the end users or the key users, and we will be conducting the workshops for the SuccessFactors processes. For the modules you are going to implement, we will be conducting the workshops and we'll be gathering the requirements from you. So once we gather the requirements, we can go to the realize phase, where once the sign off of the workbooks are completed or the documents are completed, we will be moving to the realize phase, where we can have we are not going to give the from SuccessFactor methodology, we will not go to the UAT. So we will be having something known as solution walkthroughs. So we can have multiple solution walkthroughs. We can have we'll be showing the system to you. So we'll be showcasing the process, whatever we gather the requirement standard process we covered, we'll be showcasing to you as part of realize phase. And once the what we call as the walkthroughs are done, then we can go for user acceptance testing. We can give the training, and you can enable the key users and end users for the training. So once everything is confirmed, then we can move to the deploy phase, where we will be having the cutover and we will be launching the system. So in the short span of time with the activate methodology, we can implement the SuccessFactor solution out of the box systems. And then we can also have the run phase, where we'll be doing the application management support. So this will be the phases of the project. If you are implementing as part of Kaar technology, also we are focusing more on the SAP activate methodology. So we'll be going to the next slide. So what are the key advantages of going into SuccessFactors? So when it comes to SuccessFactors, we have a common aligned enterprise model. So you have the human resource, you have the workforce, and you have the enterprise business process. So when it comes to SuccessFactors, we have single source of HR data. So you don't need to have a learning management for one solution. You don't need to have a recruiting for another third-party solution. You have one single suite for all the process from hire to retire. And this will reduce your integration cost from your information technology perspective. So you have individually connected with the process and user experience, and strong connection between the HR practice, workforce capabilities, and the integration between the finance and the respective modules for the operation perspective. Then we have the faster technology adoption. So we have a out of the box solutions. We are going to deploy the solution, and faster enablement of SuccessFactor solution can be done. And then we have a decreased time to complete month-end processing. So these are the key advantages of going into SuccessFactor solutions. So if you go to the next slide. So there are 13 reasons to adapt to SuccessFactor HXM Suite. So SuccessFactor HXM Suite is HXM is basically human experience management. So it's an end-to-end management process from hire to retire, and it's user-friendly. It's like your Facebook or your any kind of application you use, like in social media. So SuccessFactor is like that. So you can you don't need to have more training given to the employees. It's like a self-service. You can access on the go. Then we have a better employee engagement. So when the employees are assigned to their goals and their performance and everything, there'll be more employee engagement and more productivity will increase. And anytime, anywhere. So you can access this particular SuccessFactor solution anytime, anywhere. And also, we will be having customer specific process. So you'll be having your own process of social insurance calculations. You'll be having your own indemnity calculations or end of service calculations. All those calculations can be enabled or configured within our SuccessFactor solution. And this which will reduce both the IT cost and the HR cost. And also, if you have certain process which is not available in SuccessFactors, you can create customized forms, where you can customer can create their own forms. For example, for display actions, you can create your own form. So likewise, the process which is not available in SuccessFactors also can be covered with customized forms within the SuccessFactor solutions. So we'll go into the next slide, and I want to hand over this to the next session to the Prem.
Thank you, Sumnan, for your detailed session. So let us see some use cases of SuccessFactor implementation that Kaar has done. We have done the implementation for a customer in Qatar. This is a customer in private bank. It's a private bank in Qatar with a revenue of 604 million USD. We implemented Employee Central to manage their HR core operations, Employee Central Payroll for their Qatar specific local payroll, and Employee Service Center to manage the HR help desk processes, SuccessFactor section planning and development to manage their section developmental needs, performance and goals management for the performance review process, and we used cloud platform integrations to integrate their existing third parties banking and financial non-SAP applications with the SuccessFactors Suite. So before the implementation, their processes were not streamlined. Their payroll was manually handled. There was no system to manage their performance review process, and they couldn't provide the up-to-date data when the management asked. After the implementation, their processes got streamlined. They could process their payroll efficiently with Qatar payroll localization. There was reduced manual data entry also with automatic data flow between the modules and systems. So hence less business rates we had. They could manage all the HR process in a single solution, which delivered fast results. Their HR help desk process also got streamlined with the employee service center. Hence, they could address their employees' queries quickly. The next one is for the customer in construction vertical in Kuwait, who has more than 12,000 employees with a revenue of 978 million USD. We have implemented Employee Central integrated with SAP Payroll and visa management and recruitment management. Due to large employee base and construction industry, they witnessed a huge volume of workforce changes. They had complex processes unique to construction industry. They were lacking self-service applications as well. With SuccessFactor implementation, their HR processes got digitized with online mobile workflows. And SuccessFactor became a single source of data for them. Hence, it provided greater visibility and improved productivity for the management. Their employee experience also got enhanced due to self-service applications and streamlined workflows. So, let us see the next client we had. This one is for the private sector customer in KSA, who is from chemical vertical. They were using old versions of SAP ERP system for the business process, including few HR processes as well. We implemented complete suite of SuccessFactor modules such as Employee Central, Performance and Goals Management, Learning Management, SuccessFactor Jams for enterprise collaboration within the employees, and succession development and compensation management, recruitment management, and which all along with the implementation of S4HANA processes for covering all the ERP processes as well. For payroll, we implemented a case localized payroll in S4HANA since we wanted to leverage their existing investment in the on-premise system. And we integrated these solutions using cloud platform integration. We streamlined the ERP and HR business process along with the specific focus on talent management process as well, which was lagging in the previous implementation or in the existing system. So this is how this customer was benefited. And this last case is the implementation we have done for the public sector customer in KSA with the revenue of 15 billion USD. This was a greenfield implementation. Here also we implemented the complete suite of SuccessFactor solutions like Employee Central, Payroll, recruiting, succession and development, learning management, performance and goals, and for reporting, we implemented workforce analytics as well. Before the implementation, all their processes were managed manually. After our implementation, all their HR processes were digitized and simplified. They could see greater visibility and improved productivity across the HR activities. They could witness enhanced employee experience also through the streamlined processes and workflows which I had introduced. So with this, I would like to hand over the session to Manoj.
Thank you, Prem and Sumanan. That's a wonderful speech. Here's a quick note about Kaar. Kaar was one of the world's best SAP digital transformation and consulting services partner CarTech was started in the year 2005 by four friends, Maran, Ratna, Silva, and George. And though through 15 years of pure play SAP excellence, Kaar Technologies completed 2,000 plus projects for 350 plus global enterprises in Qatar, UAE, Oman, and other countries. The key SAP portfolio of CarTech includes SAP S4HANA, Rise with SAP, SAP SuccessFactors, Ariba, Analytics Cloud, and Business Technology Platform. For those who are interested in engaging further with CarTech, the next step after this would be discussion on potential synergies over a call, a complete discovery session where we can have a SAP SuccessFactor demo if required, and finally we get started with the SAP engagement. Thanks for joining our webinar and have a wonderful day. Thanks.